Hello and welcome. This is Lisa Lovestone. I'm a Reiki master, a highly intuitive oracle card reader, and I would consider myself a boundary boss because I have been under the teachings of Terry Cole, author of Boundary Boss, Boundary Boot Camp. I started learning from her during the pandemic, towards the beginning of the pandemic. And so one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Thank God I was learning Reiki, and so things were like synchronicity. Things were synchronizing for me. And I just was so upset, and I was just looking for something on YouTube to help me get through the emotional roller coaster I was on. And there she was, the answer to my hopes, dreams, and prayers, Terry Cole. Anyway, so yeah, I learned about narcissism, codependency, and just how to have healthy boundaries. Yeah. Anyway, but that's not why I'm here. I just wanted to add, boundary boss, anyway, to my list of things I'm very knowledgeable about. So Reiki, oracle cards, dowsing rods, pendulums, spirit guides, ancestors, Reiki drumming. I communicate with animals. And I don't really watch people who consider themselves animal whisperers or whatever. I just know how it works for me, and animal communication isn't something you can get on command or demand. Animals will communicate with you whenever they feel like it. So if they see that you are a kindred spirit, they will talk to you, but not necessarily. They might just give you a spiritual nod, right? But if there's anybody out there just saying that they're gonna communicate with this animal on demand, I don't know if that's possible. Maybe if I worked at it a little bit, I might find that it's true and possible. But as of this moment right now, I've never demanded anything from an animal. I've always asked or let them lead me. They lead me to what they want to do, what they want to say to me or whatever. So I don't believe in manipulation or demanding. Anyway, so enough about me. Why am I here today? Well, I've been ignoring my followers, and I'm sorry. It's not intentional. I just have had so much going on. And you would think because pet sitting has been slow, as has been my Reiki business, that I'd have more time. But that extra time has been filled with getting ready for my son's wedding, cleaning my house, getting rid of some old stuff, cleaning off the dead off my plants, getting rid of old clothes that I no longer wear, even some new clothes that I just never wore. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Anyway, I'm sitting here putting some jewelry on. Don't mind me. You know, I've had this jewelry for a long time and I have never wore it. And I thought for St. Patrick's Day, I should get it on because I don't go to fancy places. So I'm kind of like, why would I wear that? I don't go out. I don't do fancy things. Plus it's hard for me to get stuff on by myself. I don't have somebody here to help me get things on, and these fingernails can be more problematic than helpful sometimes. I got my nails done for my son's wedding. So, Lisa, stop with the yakking. Why are we here? Why are we here? Okay. It's very unusual to get me to sit still, so I'm... Shoot, that goes right through. So how do you hook it? Okay, I think that's gonna work. Anyway, green is like my main favorite color. It's too big. I don't know. Green is like my main favorite color, but yellow also, and also purple, and also pink. I don't know. How do I explain that? Peacock colors are my favorite colors. How do you choose just one color? Lisa, what are we talking about today? Okay, I'm going to pull one card from this deck. This isn't an oracle card reading per se. This is going to be a discussion on something that's been in the back of my mind, and I've been saying I need to do a video on that. I need to explain some things because a lot of people are very like, they don't fully have knowledge about ancestors. So I chose my ancestral deck, and I was sitting with this deck. Well, okay, let me back up. I had listened to a video about ancestors by one of my favorite people that I watch on Facebook. And then I was sitting with this deck, and it was like, I was looking at the pictures. What does all this mean? Why are all these ancestors different? We've got an ancestor from old ancient Egypt. We've got an ancestor from, I don't even know what country that would be. It could be 2 or 3 different countries, maybe India. Then we've got an ancestor that's Native American, most likely, but not necessarily. And then we've got possibly some Spanish dancers, right? And then we've got some fairies. Why do we have fairies? Was I born from fairies? Why are these considered part of ancestors? And then we've got ancestors from Rome, old ancient Rome. And then we've got like, you know, who is she? Where is she from? Timbuktu? I don't know, right? And so I started just meditating about ancestors. And here is what, let me also explain another part. If you watch my videos, you might have heard me say something why I don't understand why my one spirit guide over here is my grandmother, Ida Chesley-Gifford, right? And over here is my old friend, Charlene Lucille McLaughlin Wentz. Okay? Why is Char, if you saw the video, I said, why is Char my spirit guide? I'm not related to her. Okay, well, let's start with everything is connected. Everyone is connected. Everything is connected. Everything comes from source. So when you say somebody's not your ancestor, oops, yes, they are. They are your ancestor. And guess what else? Guess what else? Okay. I'm going to bring this a little closer because I'm going to sit back. Yes, I'm in my, it's not pajamas. It's like it's what I would put over my pajamas, house coat. I'm in my house coat because I took a shower recently, and I was gonna dye my shirt finally, but then I was like, oh, I can't dye it. I didn't go buy the stuff that you use with your dye to help the color stay longer and truer. So I still had to go to the store and get the dye, and I was gonna put this on so I wouldn't ruin any of my nice clothes, or even my not nice clothes with dye. So, okay. So focus. Okay, so I'm talking about ancestors, not dye. So what I wanted to say is our ancestors are my ancestors. Let me go there. My ancestors aren't just the people from my mom and my dad, and then their parents and their parents, and all the cousins and all the aunts and uncles. Okay, it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it gets bigger. But ancestors are also all the ancestors from the beginning of time on earth. Okay, from the beginning of time on earth. Even back in the days when only Neanderthals were here, there was no human beings. There were Neanderthals. Okay, those are our ancestors. Okay? Because when everything crosses over, they're no longer embodied. They're just, physically, they're only spiritual, right? And being in the spirit realm is to be all-knowing to an extent, okay? It is my understanding that even when you cross over, there are things you don't know that you're still learning. You still might learn, but you're going to understand way more than you will ever understand as a human. So our ancestors could be cats that have passed, dogs that have passed, horses that have passed. Okay? Somebody in Africa that passed away is an ancestor. Somebody in Egypt that passed away, well, that's part of Africa, but you hear what I'm saying. Somebody in Japan who passed away is my ancestor, is your ancestor. Somebody who passed away in Russia is my ancestor and your ancestor. Okay? They're all our ancestors. Now, when we call on the ancestors, we can call on our specific family ancestors if that's what we want to do. Or we can call on the ancestors who are interested in my highest and best good. So that could be an ancestor from Russia. That could be an ancestor from Iran. That could be an ancestor from India. That could be an ancestor from Slovenia, from Portugal, from Mesopotamia, from Peru, Hawaii, Canada, Wales, right? They could all come together because they have an invested interest in my highest and best good. So what I have started doing when I call upon my Reiki, and so Reihio, right? When you're in Reihio, you call upon your ancestors. I call upon the ancestors, not my ancestors. I call upon all the ancestors who are invested in my highest and best good. And if I'm giving somebody Reiki, I call upon the ancestors who are invested in my highest and best good and the highest and best good of my client. So be it, right? We need to get, even in Reiki, like a religion, things get kind of boxed and compacted with beliefs, a belief system. And Reiki is not a religion, but it can become like a religion with people's, unbending beliefs, without the open mind, without the willingness to learn, to take the lid off the jar and let new information pour in. So with Reiki, it's very, very important to be open-minded, to be willing to learn, and to seek truth, to be a truth seeker. Okay? Now, my spirit guides know me very well. Okay, Shar knew me in life. My grandmother has known me for a very, very long time. She's been here for, looking back, as long as I can remember when I first felt her, a very, very long time ago. So we need to be open-minded, willing to learn, and understand that everything is connected. Okay? Everything is a piece of source. Okay? I'm source, just for a reference. I'm source. Okay? And I'm going to take this finger and send it to that planet. That finger is a part of me, but it's out there having its own experience now on that planet. Then I'm going to take this finger off and I'm going to throw it over there on that planet. And now it's going to have an experience. I'm having the experience through that finger. I'm having an experience through that finger. Okay? Now when all my fingers are gone, I'm going to take off my whole hand and I'm going to throw it over into a different universe. And I'm going to have an experience in a different universe. And then I'm going to do this and that, and I'm going to throw it over to that universe and to that universe and to that planet and to that planet. Okay? I'm having all these experiences as source. And Lisa, I am a part of source, having this experience in this body, in this lifetime. I'm having this experience, and everything I'm learning uploads to source. Every feeling I'm feeling, every experience I experience, having what I'm experiencing, uploads to source, because we're connected. We're never separate from source. Never. That's what I don't like about Christianity is, what is hell? Hell is the absence of God. I used to say that because I used to be a super Christian. Okay. No. We are never separate from God, because we're all a part of God having a human experience. Now, I am Lisa, and in my life before, I had another name. I was a male Native American in the northeastern corner of the United States in New England, what we call the New England area. And, you know, I someday will look into other lifetimes and experiences. I can do past life regression for other people. I don't really know how to do past life regression for myself. That's the thing. I feel so limited in my ability with Reiki and with Reiki drumming, because I give to others. I don't know how to incorporate that for myself. Guess what I'm drinking? You'll probably be right on your first guess. Matcha. So, I just wanted to have this conversation about ancestors. Anyone who has lived on this planet at any point in time from the beginning of the history of this planet is your ancestor. Okay? The birds, the cats, the dogs, the snakes, the horses, the pigs, the goats, the jaguar, the mountain lion, we're all connected. And they can guide us. They can be our ancestor. They can be someone who helps lead and guide us in our life. You know, there are people out there really, it's becoming a really big deal now to call upon dragon spirits because they're so powerful. It's a thing, like all things. It's really exciting, you know, right? It's new and exciting. The spirit of the dragon. Powerful. Well, dragons are our ancestors too, in a kind of a different way. I believe that dragons once did exist on the earthly plane. Yes. So, I mean, I can't talk a lot on that because I'm not an authority on it. So, but yeah, you could call on the ancestors of the dragons. But always be sure to say, the ancestors that have my best interest, my highest and best good at heart, that are interested, that are invested in my highest and best good. And the fairies, the dragons, the magicians, the sorcerers, the elves, whoever, the Lumerians, the pescatarians. I just thought I'd throw that in there. If they have your highest and best good in mind, then they are your ancestors that you want to call upon. Okay? All right, so I hope that I've made sense. Sorry it took me a minute to get myself focused. I'm gonna pull a card, and that's gonna be our card of the day. Like I said, these are ancestor. This is my ancestor deck, and let's just look for something that can tell us, I don't know, some kind of confirmation of what it is I had to say today, I suppose. Maybe that. Guess who still hasn't put flour or baking soda on these cards? Me. Need to leave them out so I can. Interesting. Teach and share. teach and share. Kind of self-explanatory, isn't it? So this looks like, I don't know if this, I mean, it looks like Tibetan Buddhism, maybe? Instill, instruct, and educate. Have I not been pulling a lot of cards about teaching? You've been following. The universe is telling me to teach and share. So I feel compelled to do this, and I'm glad that I am doing it. All right. Teach and share. Let's see what the book has to say. Okay. Buddhism. Okay, it's Buddhism. Buddhism was introduced to Tibet in the 7th century, where it developed in relative isolation. Over the centuries, the unique culture, identity, and language of the region became inseparably linked to Tibetan Buddhism, where great emphasis is placed on the spiritual masters and teachers of the Dharma. These teachers, called lamas, complete extensive study over many years to prepare for their role in providing healing, initiations, and ceremonies, and teaching their traditions, beliefs, insights, and wisdom. The lamas, monks, and nuns also have the added responsibility of protecting and promoting Tibet's environment, language, and culture. Tibetan lamas and monks devote their lives to the study and practices of Buddhism. However, religious practice is part of daily life for most Tibetans. Many families throughout the ages have proudly sent a child to a monastery to be educated as a monk. You are not alone. The ancestors speak. You may be questioning why you are here and what your true purpose is. This card has appeared to let you know that you are a natural teacher, and it is part of your life purpose. You don't need to be a school teacher or a childcare worker. You can show people a new way of being or looking at the world. And I feel like that's what I do. How about you? You may be teaching your children or grandchildren everyday things, or you may be encouraging a friend to try something new or different. Value the wisdom and skills you can pass on to others. Divinatory meaning. Look at the ways you can incorporate teaching or mentoring into your lives so others may benefit. Here we are. You have the ability to connect with people from all walks of life and show them the way. Try not to overthink this aspect of your purpose. You may already be teaching others without even realizing it. Enjoy sharing your gifts with others. Okay, so This is for the collective, so if it resonates for you, it is for you. It definitely resonates with me. Most of my readings do, but not 100% of the time. So I hope this has been educational for you and helps broaden your horizon of thought and belief and perception. Okay, well, I've got to go feed the kitty colony, and then I've got to go get the stuff so that I can finally dye my shirt for my son's wedding. And then, yeah. So I hope y'all have a lovely, wonderful, peace-filled day. And remember, today will be my peaceful day. So be it, so be it, so be it. I wish you peace, love, and harmony in your life. And may you be blessed. Lisa Lovestone, out.